This is Billion Dollar Idea, a show about the people and the characters behind the businesses. We get up close and personal with guests who've not only had the idea, but the guts and the drive to make it a reality. In this episode, something we all do, but none of us like doing. And here's the solution: Laundrymate.
What is the last thing on anyone's mind? Laundry and related tasks? Indeed, sorting clothes, washing, drying, folding, and ironing are the last things one wants to do. It is tiring and comes in the way of doing something more productive and important. So there is no surprise that laundry is considered the most hassling of the chores. One businessman wants to change that scenario: Abhinay Choudhari. In 2022, Abhinay Choudhari launched Laundrymate. Choudhary identified the solution to simplify the laundry process and build a brand promise. He has an immaculate understanding of consumer needs, technology-enabled services, and learnings from his famed venture BigBasket. Laundrymate is a one-of-a-kind online laundry service which offers peace of mind for what most consider a mindless and irritating chore. Laundrymate offers a range of packages and pricing options to suit different needs and budgets. That makes the company's offerings accessible to a wide range of customers. Laundrymate leverages technology for timely pickup of clothes from the customer's doorstep. The process and the centralized washing factory help in washing, drying, ironing, and also delivering clothes professionally within 24 hours. While that is important, what's more essential is that the entire process is done keeping sustainability and the environment at Laundrymate's operational core. Choudhary envisions Laundrymate to be India's #1 laundry brand of choice by the customers. His plans include annual gross revenues of $1 billion by 2030. What is far more important for Laundrymate, though, is the smiles that it has brought to lakhs of customers by making laundry absurdly simple.
And now let's meet the man behind Laundrymate, a legend amongst entrepreneurs in India, Abhinay Choudhari. Abhinay, very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Welcome to the show.
Thanks a lot.
Now tell me this, Abhinay, when you were part of the batch of 1997 IIM Ahmedabad,
Yeah.
kind of legendary batch,
Yeah,
did you imagine then you'd become a doobie walla?
definitely not.
You never thought about that?
Never in my wildest dreams.
And if you'd said that to your parents, I imagine they would have been a little underwhelmed.
Yes, parents also had no clue.
Yeah, but it's fascinating. And here we are. It's absolutely amazing. And as you say, kind of an attempt to make an everyday chore, I think your language is absurdly simple.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
But tell us, in very basic terms, when did you have this sort of brainwave? Did it just come to you? Were you solving a problem? Tell us about that.
Yeah, so actually, way back in 2008, right, when I was doing a project in Switzerland, and I was just chatting with one of my colleagues, and we just talked about what are the big opportunities in India in terms of starting a new business. We talked about two: grocery and laundry.
Yeah.
Right? So in 2010, I then started grocery, which was later on became BigBasket.com, and I was there till 2021. And once I was done with solving the grocery chore, I said, okay, next I want to solve is the laundry chore for the Indian households.
Okay, so you had this in your mind a long time ago. It's been bubbling away.
Yes, yes. As something to be done in the space, but what exactly, what form, what shape, that was not there, right? So to give a little bit of shape to it, to the idea, in 2016, I started a pilot of sorts in Gurgaon, right? Just to get a sense of, because it's a new category. I was already in BigBasket, which was scaled up enough, right? And then the idea was to say, okay, now once I'm able to exit BigBasket in future, right, I have to start laundry. And then it's a new category. How do you kind of get, accustomed to the challenges, the operations, the customer behavior? So that was the thought process behind starting a pilot in 2016. Yeah. So 5 years of pilot, and then I was able to exit BigBasket because of the strategic deal with Tata's. And that's when I jumped full time And in June 2021 is when we set up the whole team, then gave final shape to the idea, and then we launched this in October 22.
And here we are in this
Yes.
amazing 56,000 square feet
Yes.
facility. But Abhinay, just take us back a little bit, okay? When you were a young man,
Yes.
playing your cocoa, running around, I know you were a great sportsman, plenty of energy.
Yes.
What did you want to be then?
I mean, there was nothing very concrete in the mind that point of time. It was just about, okay, that, you should kind of get graduated, then you should maybe do an MBA or and then after that, take up a corporate job. So doing something on your own as a startup business was never on the mind, right? Because my background is a very, very average middle class background. Obviously, we didn't have capital, and without capital, you can't start a business.
No entrepreneurs in the family?
No entrepreneurs in the family, first generation. So with that kind of a background, I had obviously no ambitions of starting anything on my own till I started a .com in 1999, which was called stylecountry.com, but which was lived for a very short period of time because it was too early for the market, right? Because if you remember, 2000 was all dial-up days, right? And I started to sell fashion online, and that was too early for the market, right? So that learning stayed with me, and then in 2009 is when I attempted again through online grocery, which then finally kind of became BigBasket at that scale. And then, as I said, initially in my conversations while I was still working, I thought of, oh, what are the two ideas? So, okay, grocery, and then maybe once I'm done with grocery, I will do laundry.
Tell me, on balance, do you think, you see, it's interesting because when I look at you and your co-founders, we talk to a lot of co-founders who are 20, 22.
Right.
You guys are veterans.
Yes.
Veterans, let's say.
Yes.
But do you value the experience you had in the corporate world, or do you think, gosh, I wish I'd just gone straight into entrepreneurship?
No, we value it a lot. I mean, especially considering the fact that what we are doing is actually changing really die-hard habits of people. So buying grocery in India online, especially the fruits and vegetables, without touching and feeling was a big habitual change. Because Indian wives, housewives, they are supposed to go and touch and feel.
They're the quality control.
Right? They want to do it that way, right? Similarly here, everyone uses washing machine at home, mates at home. So getting the wash and iron and wash and fold, which you pretty much do every day, with somebody outside is a big habitual change, right? So until unless you understand the consumer side, consumer behavior, with your years of experience behind you because you've dealt with several things, is wherein life kind of comes in very, very handy to say how to work on that consumer mind to change the habit.
I think the sheer consumer insights that we gained was an obvious reason for me to come on board, because laundry as a chore is something that doesn't really require research or rocket science in some way to be able to tell us that it's not something that people like doing at homes. So at one large macro level, I think that is very clear. But more importantly, I think from a brand point of view, I think it gave me the opportunity to really create another brand across various that are built over the years. And not often do you get a clean slate to go out and create a brand.
So both the corporate side, the emphasis, the client work, plus BigBasket have been instrumental in LaundryMate.
Yes.
Okay. Now tell me this, we have a lot of viewers sitting at home looking at you thinking, how do I become like Mr. Choudhary, right?
Yes.
And there are two parts to this. One is, where do I get the idea from, right? And the other part of it, Abhinay, is, where do I even start?
Yes.
What was your experience with that? With this? Help our guests to understand this. Is it magic? Is it luck? Is it?
Luck definitely plays its own part much later on. But then, you have to be obviously kind of thinking, right? So as a consumer, I actually started doing grocery purchase for my family when I was in standard 5th. So I had kind of gone through the entire consumer pain point, consumer behavior, and understood what are the problems in the way we are doing.
So you were the consumer.
I was the consumer and felt the pain. As a consumer, when you felt the pain point, you then tried to address how we can solve this. So that was the origination behind that. Same thing extends to the laundry, because the amount of time people spend today, productive time people spend today doing laundry at home, right? If that can be saved by giving them a very, very convenient option, right? So it's about you as a consumer looking around what problems you have, right? And morning to evening, if you just apply that, wear that thinking hat, right? You will come across several problems which on a day-to-day basis, so many people are suffering, right? And if you can just find out, oh, how do I solve this? So the idea wherein, what is the problem, what is the pain point, and how many, it is being felt by how many, that's also very important. If it's just felt by only few 100,000 people, then that's not a scalable area, right?
Yeah.
So you want something which is being felt at a large scale with millions of people, and right, so that's the origination of the idea. Then how do you solve it is obviously a lot more thinking has to go into it.
Right, fair enough. Now, let's say you've done that and you need money.
Yes.
I mean, no money, no honey,
Yes.
as they say.
Yeah.
What's your experience of that being happening? I mean, you've raised multiple rounds at different valuations, very large sums of money.
Right.
But I guess before that, you'd never done it, right?
Yes.
Talk us through that journey.
Yes, so BigBasket was definitely a challenge, right? Because as I said, it was a very new thing, capital-intensive business. So we have had our own challenges in terms of attracting the right kind of investors. And unfortunately, we really never got a very, very big investor who can write several $1 million worth of checks in the beginning. Later on, we did get Alibaba towards the end.
Yeah.
So we did go through those challenges.
Yeah.
And then I think what has happened is now you need to really demonstrate in terms of the operating model to the investors, right?
Yeah.
So fortunately, since I had some capital now from BigBasket, I have set up this to demonstrate, right? If let's say, if I just talk about an idea, listen, I want the Indian housewives to start doing their laundry from outsourced everyday basis, it will be very affordable and all. They will have challenges, kind of relating to that, right?
And won't believe. Tons of questions.
Yeah,
right?
and then they won't believe, right? So
yeah.
with the pilot, with the 5 years of pilot behind and this facility operating, delivering results is a sure shot way of then really demonstrating to the investors that this is a working model.
So kind of sort of show them, don't just tell them.
Yes,
don't
exactly.
Just tell them.
Yeah.
Okay, this is absolutely fascinating. We're going to continue this conversation, Abhinay.
All right.
Should we go off to another bit of the facility?
Sure.
You can show me that.
All right,
Brilliant.
sure. Thanks.
So Abhinay, okay, you've had the idea, you've done the prototype,
Yeah.
you got the money.
Yeah.
Let's talk a bit about culture. So we're surrounded by your wonderful team here. It's a people-intensive business.
That's right.
How have you gone about teams and culture and all that stuff?
Yeah, so it's very, very difficult to be really honest, and then you need to really kind of motivate these people to continue to, because this is a 365-day operation.
Yeah.
It's not that you have done a good job in one shift and then you can just sit on your laurels.
Yeah,
right?
and it's hard work, right?
Yeah,
it's
it
hard
is
work.
everyday work, and you have to really talk to them. You have to really kind of motivate them, and you have to also kind of talk about you as a consumer, because most of rather the first business as well as this business, anybody and everybody is a consumer of this service. Everybody is buying grocery. Everybody is doing laundry, right? So if you tell them that, listen, if you are a customer and there's a service provider, right? What do you expect, right? How do you want that to work? Imagine the same thing, because you are now providing this to your customer, right? So you have to keep yourself in the customer's shoes.
And are all these boys and girls customers as well?
Some of them, some of them, and actually at some point of time, maybe all of them would become.
I've worked in many startup organizations, but when it comes to Laundrymate and when it comes to Abhinay, so who is such a great personality person, so I think this is not a startup. It is already a established organization. The kind of growth what we have seen in the last 1 year, I've joined Laundrymate and it's been 1 year in Laundrymate. I've seen tremendous growth here, and I would love to grow with this organization in my future.
Okay, so let's say you get the price point right and you motivate all of these guys and they look pretty motivated.
Yeah.
Let's talk about brand, right?
Yeah.
Because mechanically, I guess the counter argument to this is, with enough time and enough prototyping, someone else can figure this out, right?
Right.
But the man that has the brand has something. But how do you build an emotional connect with this incredibly functional offering?
Right. So I think it's the function of the detailing of the processes from that perspective, right? So because, as I said, it's a 365-day operation, everything has to work perfectly every day in every shift, right? So right from how do we kind of set up the layout of this, it's a one of its kind. Is nowhere we have seen a facility which has been set up like this.
Yeah.
It's like an assembly line process, right? Because you need to achieve scale as well as you want attention to detail.
So the brand is kind of about consistency, right?
Yes.
The customer wants what he or she wants when she wants it.
Yes. Consistency and convenience, right? Our entire offering is basically around convenience, affordability, and a quick turnaround. We do a 24-hour turnaround. Nobody in the country actually gives 24-hour turnaround to the customers as of now. even when you do laundry at home, you can't get it done in 24 hours. So it's very operationally intensive, as you said. So until unless you have your systems, processes, and people all working in cohesion, right? It's very difficult to execute.
And I guess you must, is this right? You must innately have a real passion for getting better and better at this stuff, because there'd be plenty of people, and I might be one of them,
Right.
who would look at this every morning and think, oh, I can't do it, it's too boring.
Yeah.
What is it? What is it you love? Is it the improvement? Is it a kind of Kaizen thing?
It's, I think it's the customer delight is what I really see, right? So the first thing I really check every day is what is the rating on the Play Store, right? How many customers have come and said, oh, you are really making an impact in my life, right? I was struggling with my laundry, and it has become so smooth now, right? So that's something I think the customer happiness, right? Customer satisfaction with our services is what the one thing which kind of really excites me, right?
When I heard that they're launching it in Bangalore, and I was very excited because I think this was definitely a need felt by the urban woman, a woman who is multitasking, who's doing a lot of stuff. This is just one thing that's taken off the list. It's a very big service.
Okay, so it's building up a bit as a business, but let's talk about the innate environment you're doing this in, which is India, or in these cases, Bangalore.
Right.
Would you rather do this somewhere else? Is it net hard? Is it net easier than somewhere else? Or is actually the whole proposition really working for India?
Right. So two parts to the thing, right? As a problem, this is a problem which is across India, right? This is a very, very fragmented, very, very unorganized space, what the laundry bit, right? So it's pretty much applicable for the entire India. But Bangalore offers advantage in terms of the startup ecosystem, in terms of the technical skills, right? In terms of people, what you mean, because at the end of the day, there's a physical part of the business and there is a whole online part of the business, right? The whole apps, that bit, right? So the technology is very, very critical, right? So getting that kind of a skill set, that kind of a talent is easy to find in Bangalore than anywhere else.
So if you're starting something that's even though it's a very manual, machine-driven thing, the ecosystem's a great ecosystem.
Yes.
Great. Let's go and check out some of these other areas.
Sure.
So Abhinay, you can see how convenient this is for the customer.
Yeah.
But you use the term in your literature which is called pareidolia.
Yes.
Right? And this is something to do with freeing yourself up for more interesting stuff. Now, is this a bit of marketing claptrap, or is this a real thing?
So pareidolia is a real thing, and just to kind of share that with you is that when you look at the patterns in the sky, right? So let's say three kids looking at the same set of clouds, they think different things for the same set of cloud. Somebody always looks like an elephant face, somebody always looks like this face, that face. So that's the concept of pareidolia, right? So what we are saying is, for the time which gets freed from doing the laundry chore, you can then spend on what you love most, right?
Now here, the other thing I picked up from your literature was this idea of the mindful business, right? Which sounded like you might have teamed up with Harry and Meghan or some Californians. But this is about doing good, right?
Yes.
How do you do good?
So this is about the sustainability, right? I mean, for example, really the laundry, the main resource which all of us consume in laundry is water. And water is so precious, especially with a country like India, right? Where you have such a huge population, right? So 70 liters is what it takes in a washing machine load that goes down the drain, because you can't recycle. What we have done is we recycle 40% of the water we consume, right? And then we are showing to the consumer in the app, basis what they have given for wash and fold and wash and iron, how much they are saving as a consumer and how much we as a company have saved overall. Second one is that with all these changes in terms of the the EV movement, so to say, right? Our entire last mile delivery is 100% electric, right? So we don't use any of the fossil fuel vehicles. So it's completely electric. Entire packing over here, right, is zero plastic from day one. So all of these things are in place from day one. And this, what you see the roof, this big roof, we're going to set up a solar plant on top of that. So whatever we consume as electricity will also be completely solar energy. So we as a company would be kind of really looking at all of these pieces as a very, very sustainable, green way of doing things, which is not possible at home.
Abhinay, let's talk a bit about you, right? Yeah. We're of similar ages. We've both got teenage girls.
Right.
Yeah, we're getting a bit older.
Right.
You've done one spectacularly successful startup.
Right.
And God willing, this will be another.
Yes.
But at a fundamental level, Abhinay, what's it for? Is it for money? Is it for power? Is it for fun? What is it that you're doing this for?
I think it's a mix of all of sorts, right? But at the same time, I think what is really most satisfying is that I'm being able to solve a problem which is being faced by so many people, right? So that's the motivating and the driving factor. And it's a mix of raw stuff with other things as well. We've already gone through a journey which has been a successful experience, successful journey, and then hence you want to do it one more time, right? So yeah, it's a combination of all of that, right?
Okay, and I guess Mrs. Choudhary gets you out of the house as that's the upside.
That's a hidden benefit somewhere, right?
So everybody wins. Okay. And just staying on this theme, I mean, I'd like to think we're both young men, so this is, I'm not trying to call time on us, but when you're at the top of the hill looking down, or when people are looking at you and your career, what do you want them to say, Abhinay?
Well, yeah, I mean, having done the solving the chore bit, right, which is the grocery, and then, as you said, if this also becomes a large scale, and you have solved the laundry problem for the Indian households, and then they become more and more productive in their day-to-day life, right? And they kind of recognize that, these two fundamental things got done, right? And then we have become so more productive, we have saved so much of time and resources. That would be a great satisfaction to kind of hear them say this about you,
So
right?
Back to the
Pareidolia.
We're back to the pareidolia. So you've gifted people.
Yes.
What looks like a laundry business
Yes.
is actually an act of emancipation, and even more,
Right.
it allows you to do better things.
That's right.
That's fascinating. Abhinay, I'm so delighted to talk to you. We're going to go and do some quick fire questions in a second.
Sure, yeah.
But tell me this, where do you get your laundry done?
Here, Laundrymate.
Perfect. Abhinay, you've been an amazing sport. Can we end with a few quick fire questions?
Sure.
Okay. Paranormal versus pareidolia.
Pareidolia.
Hill station, beach villa.
Both.
Coco cricket.
Cricket.
Classical music, rock music.
Classic.
Yoga, weights.
Yoga.
Shah Rukh Khan, Salman Khan.
Shah Rukh Khan.
You've been the best guest. Thank you so much for appearing on $1 Billion Idea. Abhinay, lovely to meet you.
Thanks a lot.
Who knew that laundry could be exciting? But I guess that's the point. Laundrymate have taken a really mundane household activity, possibly bottom of the chores, and they haven't just done a bit of it, they've taken it entirely off the customer. And that's fascinating in itself. But what's more fascinating is this idea that Abhinay described to us, which was pareidolia. When you're not doing something mundane, you can dream dreams. And that's really the big idea of this. And I think that's what will create, ultimately, the emotional bond for the Laundrymate customer. I'm Jasper Reed, and I hope you'll join me on the next episode of $1 Billion Idea.